Hi and welcome back to the TQI Toolkit tutorial series. Today we're going to be looking at the value stream map. So our value stream map, what we will tend to do with a value stream map is we would do a process map and then we'll take any sort of weights and things in between and we'll start populating a value stream map. That's why it's broken into a before and after. So for this example, the results should calculate automatically. We'll just start entering some details onto the value map. So if we click the blue button, which is add new step, what we'll then do is we'll put on the name of the task. So I'm just going to write example task for this one. You can put any details, so it might be things like any information that you feel is relevant to it. We've then got the task time, so how long does this task take to complete? And for this one, we've got that broken down into weeks, days, hours, and minutes. So I'll put in an hour just for this example, and then I'll probably pause the video and start entering some generic ones so you can see the before and after. Then we've got the value added time, and the value added time is something you would enter for that 1 hour's worth of work within the task, how much of that's actually value. So we would perceive value from an NHS point of view as something that would benefit the patient. There'll be lots of work you do as your normal duties, but does that have any real value to a patient? That's something you have to try and decide for yourself. So for an hour's worth of work, you might find that only 5 minutes of that entire hour you've worked is value added to the patient. And then we'll use wait times, and that can be things like how long the patient sat in a waiting room or any sort of switchovers and shifts. So if you went and seen one person, you come out and you have to wait to see someone else. You've got that wait in between, and the wait can be things like waiting for a hospital appointment, and that can go into weeks. So if we say these are weeks worth of wait there, and then we'll press save, what we would then start to see once this refreshes itself is you start to see some of your results populating. So I will go into more detail, pause it, and we'll come back later, but I'll just sort of break this down as it shows you for the time being. So the first thing we've got at the top under the settings tab is we can then break this down into minutes or hours. So however you feel most comfortable viewing the results, I'm going to select hours just for this example. We've got a lead time, so that shows you the amount of time in days. So for this example, it does the breakdown of that. We've got the lead time in hours, and this includes the wait times in between the time of the task and things like that. So it appears a lot higher than what it does in the example we've given. The processing time, that was the hour, we'll put in below. If there's any change over time, we can actually start adding them onto this chart on the bottom. We can go back and edit if you need to amend anything. We have the value added time, so it shows you 0.08 of an hour of that entire process is value added, and then it shows you that 0.92 of that hour is non-value added. So that's times that something that needs to be done, it's a task that needs to be completed, but that doesn't have any value to the patient. Then we've got a breakdown of percentage of value added and a breakdown percentage for non-value added, and then at the bottom we've got the SWIP, the standard working process. So I'll pause this video and we'll add on some more, and I'll do a before and after, and then I'll show you the graphs and chart. Right, I've now added some more tasks into the before and after bars, so that's changed some of the results. I just want to point this out. It starts to create visuals. You can slide through, so anyone that's done a lead time before, this might look a bit more familiar here. It would appear the examples I put in the top box. If I put any information, it would appear here. These triangles down the bottom are actually the wait times. So this one's actually in hours. But when I do the change at the top of the screen, it will actually change between minutes and hours at the bottom. And then it shows you that's in minutes. So I've done the before and I've done an after. What this then starts to do is it starts to generate graphs. So you've got your graphs based on your value added percentages. And again, these are the tick boxes which allow you to export them as reports later on. We've got our graphs for the non-value added. We've got a graph for our processing time. We've got a graph for lead time in days. And I can go and save all that information now. If I just go back into the charts, you can actually add new steps as you go along. So if anything needs to be changed or amended, you have an edit or delete button. You can actually start editing these if you'd got something wrong or the calculation wasn't looking right. You can go back in and edit them, or just delete it out completely if you've removed that step. And that's it for the value stream map.